Good morning or good evening, Dianima team. This is Shervin. I'm going to give you guys a little update on what's going on, a little video message. So, first thing I wanted to let you know is that this video message is in place of tomorrow's meeting. Tomorrow being Friday, I believe it's September 1st, normally our Friday meeting. So, this is in lieu of that meeting. I wanted to give you a little bit of an update on what I've been working on and where the direction of the company is going and how we're going to work together. So I'm currently working pretty intensively with Adrian specifically and also Travis for the next 3 weeks in preparation for the Kaiser Permanente CEO and CIO meeting. Chief Innovation Officer, not Chief Information Officer. So let me give you a couple of updates. Number one, I completed the 7 science videos. This was in massive help with Adrian, who put many hours into it with me. Ricky also helped create some of those visuals, which were very helpful. So those 7 videos are done. Now, I can see that only one person has watched all these videos. It's Adrian. No one else has actually watched them, or maybe one person has watched one other video. But I think it's super important that you understand, and everyone understands, that what the science of Dianima looks like. We spent many hours. I'm talking about 15 to 20 hours just creating the scripts, the visuals, me recording them. I had to record each one of them. It took me 3 or 4 attempts to do it right. So please watch those videos. It's already on the Slack channel. You can check them out, and I've already emailed it to you. So take a look at those. It's quite a good thing, because when people say, "Well, tell me about the science," you can actually point them in that direction. Next update: I have a meeting with Dr. Maria Ansari. She is the CEO of the Northern California branch of Kaiser Permanente. She's also invited her Chief Innovations Officer to join us at that meeting, which is great. That's going to be on September 22nd. I have a lot to accomplish between today and that meeting, because it's a super important meeting. In addition to that one, I have a meeting not specifically dated yet with Palo Alto Medical Foundation. They were waiting for the science videos to be completed. Once the science videos were completed, then they said, okay, now we want to see those so we understand how the science works. So that will be sent to them hopefully by the end of today. The other thing, I'm in the process of onboarding one other person. His name is Dr. Veko Vahamaki. He's an internal medicine doctor, works at Palo Alto Medical Foundation. He wrote a book 10 years ago in 2013 called Value-Driven Healthcare. It was like the medical provider's guide to long-term value-driven healthcare, et cetera. It's just really great. I met with him. It was supposed to be a 1-hour meeting. It became a 3.5-hour meeting on Tuesday. And the reason it became longer is he kept extending it. He kept on saying, "This is fascinating." He says, "Shervin, the things that you guys are creating and created, I tried to do 10 years ago through a book, but people don't read very many books, and implementing it is hard. You've made an app for this. This is tremendous." He literally has asked if he could be our CMO, our Chief Medical Officer. And he immediately busted out, I'm not exaggerating, a 10-page, whatever you call it, contacts list with a ton of his contacts, all of which are medical doctors and or healthcare professionals, and or some of them are higher up in leadership. Their phone numbers and their email addresses. He says, "Listen, I'd like you to bring me on board. I'd like to be at that Kaiser Permanente meeting. I want to tell them why it is that they should adopt this and what the reasons are for it." And then he said, on top of that, "Here's my list." And it's literally a few hundred people. He says, "I will send out emails and videos and whatnot to all of these people and request meetings. I want to move this company forward. I really believe in this company, and I want to be part of that." And I was like, oh, that's really great. So I'm bringing him on board. The exact percentage and how, I don't know, but he's willing to actually do the work with me, which is pretty tremendous. Adrian, I know you've gotten a couple of commitments for 2 new pilots in Spain. Thank you so much. That is outstanding. Like, that is really moving words into actions and just getting the job done, which is what we need. I want everyone to know we are no longer in the phase where we're going to be thinking about something and then thinking and then, ready, aim, fire. We're at the point where we need to actually start firing right now. We have enough on our enough accomplishments that we can really move the company forward. This is also why I do not plan on meeting with anyone in the next little while, as I have a ton of work to do for these meetings, both with Vahamaki, PAMF, and Kaiser. I have not started the pilot in our clinic because my main goal was to really meet with Adrian, get these science videos done, now to get these prompts done. So I'm going to explain to you what Adrian will be working on. The next part of this is assignments. If you hear your name, this is your assignment. Jason, let's start there. I want you to reach out to Adrian in the next couple of days. Adrian will be launching 2 new pilots in the very next short term, maybe in the next 1 to 3 weeks. And we want to make sure that the demo.dianima.info is up, running, ready to go, etc., so that it's really ready to collect data. So I want to make sure you guys coordinate, practice, test it out, and make sure that it's working well. Jason, at some point, next assignment is within the next 2 weeks or so, I'd really like to meet with you and Travis. We need to unlock Stanford. Stanford is a private healthcare facility. It is much, much easier to penetrate versus Palo Alto Medical Foundation or like the UC systems, which are public systems. So I think we're long overdue. I think it's ready. We have the videos ready. You've got the contacts. It's just a matter of let's get this done. So let's unlock Stanford connections in the next couple of weeks. Adrian, your assignment, which you already know because we met for about an hour and a half this morning, is poor thing. I've given you roughly 20 hours of work to do. It might be 30 or 40, frankly. I know that we've discussed in detail moving the 25 existing practical prompts. There's 50 total, but there's 25 are suggestions really, and 25 are practical prompts. And by practical prompt means literally just open your mouth and say these words and you're gonna be on the right track. When I met with Dr. Vahamaki on Tuesday, he was like, listen, all these theoreticals are great. Doctors do not have the time to think and digest, and at least not in the US. They have a very limited time and they just need to know, what do I need to do? What do I need to say? Help me make it super simple. So Adrian, I know that you're working on moving 25 prompts and 25 suggestions into 100 suggestions, at which point Dr. Vahamaki, myself, you, and Dr. Vahamaki's wife, who is a multilingual linguist, extremely good with communicational techniques and is a teacher, will hopefully, if I can bring him on board, will help us move that to roughly 100 precision prompts. At which point, Jason, we're going to need to copy and paste those into the existing systems that we have. Now, the reason that I'm not doing any meetings, I want everyone to know, is because, but I'm happy to meet individually if someone wants to meet with me, I'm super open to that, is because I want to make sure that every single step moving forward is towards one thing and one thing only. Well, 4 things. If you want to meet about how to develop further the science and help Adrian and myself with that, great, let's meet. If you want to really meet about the marketing and how we're going to introduce this to tons of other doctors, great. We can have a 10, 15-minute meeting about how we're going to implement that. If it's about medical meetings and marketing, or if it's about funding, those are things that I'd like to meet with people about. But those are the only meetings I'm taking for the next little while. So if that's important to you, which is all about how we move the company forward. If these are things that you're not interested or unable or unwilling to do, we need to definitely have a conversation. Myself, as a CEO that's given the task of driving this company forward, I cannot do it alone. It's just not going to happen if I'm doing that alone. I need your direct action, not your thoughts. I'm not interested in a lot of suggestions. At this point in my life, I'm not interested in doing more and more aim. It's time to actually make some things materialize in a very practical sense. So that is the mindset that I'm coming at. I hope you're okay with that, because that's how successful companies really move these products into usable formats. Now, so if you're interested in meeting with me about the science, I'm in. If it's about marketing and medical meetings, acquiring those, great. And if it's about funding, great. Otherwise, I'm going to cancel all meetings for the next 3 weeks unless I'm working with you directly one-on-one with those. Now, just so you know, I have already created templates for multiple emails, introductory emails and connection emails. It's in your Slack messages. It's in your email inbox. I've created it for you. If you wanted to do that, it's so simple. I've literally done 99% of this for you. You just eliminate the word where it says name and put in that person's name, put in their email address, and you hit send. Finished and done. It doesn't require a lot of editing. I've already done this 4 times and I've gotten 4 yeses out of 4 attempts. That's 100% track record at this moment. So it's already there for you. It's just a matter of if you're able and willing to move it into something super practical. Now, the next thing that I'm working on right now is really making sure that I build up the US medical healthcare team, because when I'm having meetings with them, they want to have medical doctors, at least in the US, that can verify and talk and describe and discuss. So when I met with Dr. Vahamaki again for about 3.5 hours, day before yesterday, we talked about he wanted an actual role in Dianima, which means I've got to carve equity out of somewhere so I can give it to him so that he can actually help me move this company forward. Right now, he's very, very practical. Again, he gave me a 10-page double-sided list, and he's like, I will just nail this for you. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you for moving this from theory to just practical and moving it forward. So once I have Adrian's 100 suggestions, if you will, based on those 9 personality profiles, and moving those 24 or 25 prompts to 100 prompts, which I will be doing with Dr. Vahamaki, Adrian, and possibly Dr. Vahamaki's wife, the linguist, then we will be able to move the product through Jason to V2. This all needs to happen, by the way, in the next 3 weeks before I meet with Kaiser. So it's kind of no joke. I have a lot in front of me. It'll take me minimum 15 or 20 hours per week to develop some of these things. I'm working with Travis directly on a couple of these things again. So the next official meeting will likely be end of September. I have a lot to accomplish between now and then. If you're interested in helping move our company forward, I want to make it super and ultra clear. The only things that you should be concentrating on is can you help move the science forward? If so, how are you going to do that? Otherwise, how are you going to help us with the marketing and medical meetings, right, to get other pilots on board? Or how are you going to help with funding? Everything else, I'm just not interested in meeting with or discussing because we're done with all the discussions. The roadmap is clear, the science is clear, the technology is clear. It now needs to just move into actionable items. If you're interested in that, great. I do want you to know very soon we'll be signing contracts and I will be moving equity around. I am looking objectively to see who's actually producing results versus just giving me advice. And advice is not very valuable when we're building a company. We need things to actually move forward, which means meetings, funding, marketing meetings with actual people who can make decisions. So I'm making it ultra clear as the CEO, I will be moving our equity around rapidly before we sign contracts because actionable items need to happen. And I'm looking at the history of what we've been able to produce and what we're going to be producing in the next short while. So I'll be discussing that with Travis in the next little while. I hope you're all doing well. I hope I didn't seem too rapid or curt in this conversation, but I do want to let you know that we're going to be moving to practical, measurable, moving items forward super fast. Okay, hope everyone's doing well. Feel free to reach out to me if you need or if you can help in any of those things that I mentioned earlier. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.